Good afternoon. You guys think it's hot right now? Wait till this deal falls apart. I'm here today because my younger brother can't be. He's buried in Arlington, just over these buildings, on a little hill in lot 59 in Arlington Cemetery. I'm also here because as was mentioned, I am a retired veteran, and I come from a very Navy family. Father, mother, 3 boys, 105 years in the Navy.
Thank you.
Thank my parents. They're amazing. I'm also here today because I want to remember the other victims, the other veterans of terrorism and the war on terrorism, and the families of both. Ronald Reagan said, "We will always remember. We will always be proud. We will always be prepared so we can always be free." Your loved ones gave their full measure. They gave their lives, their limbs, and their liberty for ours. And it's so important to remember them as we go forward with this deal. I'm also here today to share a few comments with our congressional leadership. And I think they're important. This joint comprehensive plan of action has a really impressive title, but it has absolutely horrible terms. And they're terms that we cannot afford to have. Once this deal takes shape, this Iran nuclear deal is going to be like an arrow that's shot from a bow. It can't be directed, and you can't bring it back. And we have to stop it from being launched. I can think of 3 reasons why our congressional leaders should oppose this deal. The first one is based on principle, the second one on process, and the third one on policy. On principle, political principle. America today sees a politics in Washington, and we know that partisanship is more important than principles today. We know that personality is more important than character. And we know that looking good is more important than being good or doing good. And we know sound bites are more important than sound minds and sound policies. And I, for one, am tired of it. On duty, the principle of duty. Our men and women in uniform, our troops, our soldiers, our sailors, our airmen, our Marines, they've sworn an oath to defend our country and protect our way of life. Our congressional leaders have the duty to do the same for them. And the Iran nuclear deal doesn't do it. Giving a terrorist regime, evil men, billions of dollars to make more missiles, more munitions, and more mines to create more chaos, killing, and mayhem across the Middle East is wrong. It's absolutely wrong. On the principle of honor, our leaders in the past have based their treaties and their agreements on principles. I'd like to know what principle this agreement is based on. On process, this agreement is just that. It's agreement today. It's not a treaty, and the precedence is more than there in history for this to have been brought in to Congress as a treaty.
Right.
SALT 1, SALT 2, START 1, START 2 were set up as treaties, and there's a reason for that.
Right.
Because one branch of government shouldn't be directing the security policy of the United States. It should be a balanced approach. We were told, don't confuse the terrorism issue with the Iran nuclear issue. Okay, I'm going to take a giant leap here, and I'm going to say that's not only dangerous, it's impossible. Trying to separate the evil Iranian regime from terrorism is like trying to separate heat from a flame or light from a candle. It cannot be done. And given the Iranians, nuclear power does not make the world a safer place. And finally, and this is big, we were told it's these terms, this deal, or war. That sounds like a red line. For who? We were told military options are on the table. I wonder if they're not nailed to the table. If they aren't nailed to the table and they're really on the table, then what is the plan? Are we gonna move unilaterally, independently, and immediately when we find out these terms, this deal, or war, and they violated the terms? Or are we gonna have a coalition moment with other partners that are conflicted because they're building refineries or providing air defense systems? Finally, the third reason to object to this deal is policy. International treaties and international agreements should be based on security strategies and policies, not the other way around. Military operations, treaties, and agreements are only as good as the policies they support. And I would like to ask each of the congressional leaders, as they put the pen to paper on this deal, I want them to ask themselves, what is the security policy of the Middle East? And if we don't have one, we shouldn't be entering into this agreement. Einstein said, the world is a dangerous place, not because of the evil men that are in it, but because of the good men that do nothing about them. Yeah. Well, we're looking for some good men in Congress and good women to stand up and show some courage and say no. My brother gave his last full measure. And there's a quote by one of our founding fathers that I cannot help but think of him when I reflect on it. And it goes something like this: I love the man that can smile in danger, that can gather strength from distress and grow brave by reflection. 'Tis a business of little minds to shrink, but to he whose heart is firm and whose conscience approves his conduct will pursue his principles unto death. That's what my brother did. And that's what our leaders should be doing, basing decisions on principle, not partisanship.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all very, very much. And I would like to stand, and I would like to thank the senators, and I would like to thank the representatives, all of them. Senator Cardin, Manchin, Schumer, and Menendez. Those are leaders. Those men, their conscience approves their conduct. They're pursuing their principles unto death. Thank you very much, senators, and all the representatives that have followed them. Thank you all very much.